Hello, good morning friends. Today I am going to discuss about explanation of examination of hip joint in continuation of clinical examination in orthopedics. So what are the steps in examination of hip joint? We see step by step. So hip joint is a remarkable piece of God creation which carry weight of the body and at the same time help in locomotion. It is extremely sturdy and stable than the shoulder joint through less mobile. It is formed by the union of hip bone and head of the femur, that is the acetabular component of the pelvic bone, and the femoral head, neck, greater and lesser trochanter of the femur constitute the hip joint. The surface palpable bony landmark paramount of paramount importance while conducting the clinical examination are the anterior superior iliac spine, the greater trochanter, and the pubis anteriorly. The iliac crest, the posterior superior iliac spine, the ischial tuberosity, and the greater trochanter posteriorly. Next to a spine, the hip joint is the most commonly affected part of the skeletal system. So, we see history, pain, limb, gait disorder, problem with hip joint activities, movement, deformity, and other points. So, pain. Pain is the most common complaint of the patient with a hip disorder or hip joint problem. If the pain is due to the hip proper, it is experienced in the region or in the front of thigh or rarely in the knee. But almost caution is required to interpret the referred pain from the spine or the pelvis felt in this region or in the region. Limb. This is the second commonest complaint related with hip joint. It could be painful as in acute hip conditions like arthritis or painless as in congenital dislocation of hip. Limp is usually noticed in and told by the relatives than by the patient himself. Limping is also found in a rare disease, that is Perth disease. So, next point is gait. Gait disorders. Since the hip joint is mainly concerned with the gait and locomotion, it is but natural that patients with hip disorders have alterations in the normal gait pattern which varies according to the cause. Problem with hip joint activity. The patient can present with problem like inability or difficulty in sitting, squatting, or walking. The reason could be painful muscle spasm, joint adhesion, or arthritis. Movements. There are movements, there could be restriction of all movements in case of arthritis, or a few movements, decreased abduction as in congenital dislocation of hip joint. deformity, the patient can present with reflection, abduction, adduction, or rotational deformity of the hip. Other relevant points include age, sex. Age. If we see complaint according to age group, 0 to 2 congenital dislocation of hip, 2 to 5 year tuberculosis of hip, 8 to 10 year Perth disease, 10 to 12 slipped capital femoral epiphysis SCFE, 20 to 50 year osteoarthritis, usually or generally it is secondary, 50 to 80 years osteoarthritis, this is the primary. Sex, Perth disease and tuberculosis are more common in males, while slipped capital deformities, epiphysis, rheumatoid arthritis are common in female. Trauma. This could be the cause or a precipitating or aggravating factor in Perth disease or tuberculosis. Duration. Longer duration of symptoms and signs are noticeable in chronic disorders like tuberculosis, rheumatoid arthritis, etc. Constitutional symptoms. These are the commonly seen in problems like tuberculosis, rheumatoid arthritis. Clinical examination. Most of the conditions affecting the hip joint can fairly be diagnosed accurately by a good methodical and proper clinical examination. A student is advised to understand and master the technique of the art of correct clinical examination of the hip joint so as to enable him to arrive at a proper diagnosis. So, in process of clinical examination, first is preparation of the examination. The best way to examine the hip joint is that the patient have no clothing on the body, but this is ideally possible only in children and is impractical in adult, especially women. For obvious practical reason, hence a man is allowed to keep his shirt on and cover the genitalia. For female, adequate cover should be provided to cover the private part, and the presence of a female attendant or nurse cannot be less emphasized in female, and it is in them that the hip joint examination provides the greatest difficulty. Examination of walking or gait. A proper inspection of the gait gives an insight into the hip problem which is the patient might have been affected with. Method of examination. The legs of the examining patient should be adequately exposed and the feet should be bare. There should be no constriction clothing like gown, etc. The patient should walk away from the examiner first, then turn around at a given point and come toward him again. Hip gait disorders. Normal gait and its pattern have been discussed earlier. The following are the some of the important gait disorder due to hip joint. Number 1 is short leg gait, circumduction gait, Trendelenburg gait, entalgic gait. gluteus maximus gait. So we see in next slide, this is Trendelenburg gait or hip drop. Next is entalgic gait. In painful hip condition, patient walks with reduced stance phase on the affected side that indicate entalgic gait. Next is the gluteus maximus gait due to muscle weakness on the right side. This is gluteus medius gait. Next is the wasting of muscle. Wasting of muscle, it indicates wasting of muscle, asymmetry of gluteal fold, stance, shortening of the lower limb, level of patella, level of popliteal fossa. So we see a stance phase of the gait. In this diagram, 4 figure heel strike, loading response, mid stance and terminal stance. Shortening of the limb, in this we compare both leg of a patient in which right leg, length of right leg is shorter than the left leg. Level of patella, in this diagram you see depressed area on above anterior aspect of the tibia and conditions of the patella. Level of popliteal fossa, in certain conditions popliteal fossa appears above the normal conditions, normal position. So this diagram or condition visualized in this diagram. Important test in standing position, block test, examination in the lying down position. So important test in standing positions are the measurement of the both legs and different jerks. Block test is performed in cases of shortening or difference in length of both legs. Examination in the lying down position is required. The proper examination of the gluteal region and sacroiliac joint. In this way, in short, we try to conclude the examination of the hip bone. This topic will be continued in next video. So you never miss and see next video. Thank you for watching. Like, share and